arrives at the Styrian Mountains here for the Austrian Grand Prix, and it's time to get delving into the news and see what the teams have been going through during this time period. First of all, Rees has revealed that Mercedes' unplanned upgrade path has not helped him this year in the championship. Rees, of course, is currently quite a long way off of Tom in the Formula 1 World Championship, and a lot of people have been now starting to question why this is the case. Rees has stated that obviously after the British Grand Prix, Mercedes-Benz were flustered by their complete lack of pace, with obviously Rees finishing in P8 and Tom finishing in P7. So far, Mercedes' worst team performance of the year. Mercedes then went ahead and did an unplanned upgrade path change with their rear wing. Obviously, their rear wing was initially banned when the season first got underway before it was cancelled. Then, with obviously the time to redevelop that rear wing, it really helped Rees out. But now, obviously, with more upgrades going onto the wing and it not working, Mercedes have taken a new path and it's not helping Rees yet. He just doesn't feel like he got that much of a balance, and it's really hurting him. And obviously, as you see in the second state of the news there, Mercedes have announced that they did change their rear wing upgrade concept after the failure of the British Grand Prix, which then again has had that negative effect for Rees. Tom says that he still finds the balance of the rear wing quite odd himself. However, it doesn't affect him too much because Tom much prefers to have a back end which is a little bit more unstable, whereas Rees likes a back end which is a little bit more stable. Mercedes is still yet to find a real true balance in terms of setup to make it work for both drivers. Mercedes have also stated that as of now, as Tom is currently leading the championship and is in the championship fight, they are going to try and tailor the rear wing a little bit more towards himself just to try and give him that edge in the championship and not try and throw it away. However, Mercedes said the two drivers are still equal and will not go down the route of preferring one driver, as they still look to try and help Rees as much as possible so he can finish as high up in the championship. Tom has also re-explained the reasons why he is wearing Valtteri Bottas gloves. Now, as you may have probably been seeing throughout the entirety of the season, as Tom has been going around, you have noticed that he's wearing Valtteri Bottas' gloves, VB77. Now, Tom has already explained this in the past before, but it's come up again, so he thought he'd go ahead and explain it again. The reason that Tom is wearing Valtteri Bottas gloves is because in the last season, when Tom was removed from Ferrari, Bottas was the man that contacted Toto Wolff and begged for Tom to be taken to Mercedes and go there. If it wasn't for Bottas making the call, Toto Wolff announced that he wouldn't have actually considered taking on Tom. Therefore, Tom, now at Mercedes, says that from now on he'll be wearing Bottas gloves as a matter of respect for what Bottas did for him. And then finally, in this exclusive interview that we had with Carlos Sainz, we believe for him, he says that one day he will be a world champion in the future. So quite a very great interview where Sainz had a talk about Lamborghini, his future in terms of the team there at Lamborghini, and would he go elsewhere. And he automatically stated that no matter what, there is a day where we will be crowning Carlos Sainz as a Formula 1 world champion. But with that said, let's get straight into the news. So the practice pointers then heading into the Austrian Grand Prix. First of all, Tom and Sam are right up there for pace with regards to each other. It's shown that Tom has got a little bit of an edge in the qualifying simulation pace. However, in the race simulations, on the other hand, both of them are very much in a class of their own. And it looks like we could be seeing Tom and Sam up there battling each other. But as we all know, F1 can completely change from practice to race day, and with qualifying mixing it up. Ferrari have brought new updates to their car, and they're looking to take their fight with Audi this weekend, which is a bold statement considering Ferrari struggled to even get in the top 10 in most of the Grand Prix. And Max Verstappen has been very happy with the balance of his car at what he calls his quote-unquote home Grand Prix, alongside obviously Belgium as well, with obviously plenty of Orange Dutch fans coming in to support Max Verstappen here at the Austrian Grand Prix. Without further ado, let's go straight into qualifying and the race. It's round number 9. Hey, what's going on, guys? It is Foxy98 here. Welcome back to a brand new episode of the F1 Journey for you guys today here on the channel. Today, we are here for round number 9, which is the Austrian Grand Prix, and I'm really looking forward to this track because it's one of my strongest tracks on the calendar, if not probably my strongest track in general, in just terms of the whole lap itself. It's just such a great track for me, and I really do enjoy driving around it. But as you can see, then we're into qualifying for this Grand Prix, and as you can see straight away, already off to a good start. I already felt comfortable, knew the perfect setup to run with it. A little bit wide on the sector last corner there, just sort of put me off a little bit for the final corner. Back end steps out just a little bit there, but Hamilton's lap time of a 105.8 is completely eclipsed by my 105.2, and automatically I'm off to a very strong start with things. Onto my second lap now, and I decided obviously to go again and try and improve on what I had just done, and already you can see here that we're just 2/100ths of a second faster, as now Russell and Norris are already just behind me, which was a little bit nervy because obviously Sam is normally a good like 4/10ths quicker every time, so I decided to try and have another crack at it, and that's exactly what I'm doing here. As you can see, around the final corner now, opens up the DRS towards the start-finish line, and this time it's a 105.1 to go 9/100ths of a second faster than what I just done the last time around there. So really happy with that lap, and overall it was actually 4/10ths of a second quicker than anybody else. So normally I do 3 runs in qualifying, but on this occasion I just didn't do the third run. There was no point. I was looking at Sam's lap time because he went out a little bit earlier, which was good for me, and it just didn't accumulate to anything. He was fastest in the first sector, and then I saw his middle sector split, and I was like, no, he was slower in the middle sector, and in the final sector, especially the final 2 corners, I was able to just carry so much more speed that I just decided against it, and it was the right call. It's pole position for the Austrian Grand Prix. I think that's the first time, actually, that I've got pole, unless in the Canadian Grand Prix I got pole position, but I can't actually remember in that race. Anyway, having a look at the race itself then, full dry race, just a one-stop strategy, and that's what we're going to do. But anyway, then we're going to get onto the grid here now for the Austrian Grand Prix. We've got 5 red lights here, and it's lights out where we go here to start the Austrian Grand Prix. Good start from us initially. It's actually a fantastic getaway off the line there, and as you can see, in towards the first corner now, comfortable run into there, and we could just breeze off into the distance and let the scraps go in behind. Lovely start. Look at the gap that we have built already off the start now, as Hamilton there gets in front of Nico Rosberg, I think that is, in the background. It's actually Hulkenberg, my apologies, and as you can see, in towards the hairpin now, Rosberg goes around the outside this time to try and find his way through, but it's not going to pay off for him. Hamilton sticks in front for the time being, but there's some scraps going on behind that, and let's have a look at now as the wall there spazzes out in the background as Norris now gets in front of one of the Ferraris there, and now Vettel attacks one of the Porsche cars, and I think he's going to get this one done, although he's going to go down the inside as one of the Porsche cars there, so it's not over yet for Sebastian Vettel. I can't actually quite tell which Porsche that is. That's going to be Max Verstappen, and it is in the Porsche car there versus Sebastian Vettel. These two have had some great fights in the past now as Verstappen and Vettel keep it going in towards the middle sector here, now rounding towards the other part of the middle sector, and Vettel holds off against Verstappen, and he gets in front of him as onto the end of the first lap. You can see on board with ourselves now. We have built ourselves the advantage that we needed, the perfect start to the Grand Prix. We now go into the final corner here and clip in the curb there nicely and across to the start finish line now. And as you can see, fast lap of the race, 1:10.7, 6/10ths of a second clear of Sam as we go into the next phase of the race. As we continue on board now with the rest of the pack here, as we scroll on through, there is the rest of the field sort of going on through, and this is kind of how the grid sort of shapes up then as we move on. But now moving a little bit forward onwards, you can see here now that Vettel under pressure here from Pascal Wehrlein as Vettel locks up now into the hairpin. That's actually Lewis Hamilton. I've turned into David Croft, everybody, and Vettel now is under pressure from Verstappen again, so Max now gets back in front of Sebastian Vettel. So both Audi cars locking up then into that corner there. Seems like they're struggling just a little bit with the performance of the car in those areas, as Pascal now is back in front of Hamilton, but it's going to be 3 wide now in towards the first corner. There's also a fight going on behind between one of the Red Bulls. I think it's Russell and Norris. It is there now as they go through. Hamilton gets out on top now, but it's Pascal Wehrlein versus... Oh my god, how many cars are in this train right now? Jesus, there's literally 3 wide and then 2 wide behind that. There is so many cars all scrapping for position. How on earth are they going to get into the hairpin in one piece? It's going to be one of the Ferraris going in front of the McLaren there. Norris stays out in front. Wehrlein stays in front of George Russell. Russell side by side. Now Norris tries to switch on Hulkenberg, but Hulkenberg defends the inside line nicely there. Now Norris switches to the outside line for this turn 4, and now all of a sudden, bit of a bumping there between the 2 cars, but Norris sticks with it this time around, and Norris there, fair play to the fight, but Hulkenberg in the Ferrari not taking this one there without a fight, but Norris is also trying to fight this one off, and he has to lift off in the end there. As you can see, me and Sam all the while are just pulling away from all of this. But speaking of Sam, it's now starting to go a little bit awkward here, as now, as you can see there, here comes Sam now on the attack in the McLaren as we go a little bit wide in the exit at 4, and now Sam towards the outside line. We're going to defend the inside line though, and as much as the fighting is going on in the background, that doesn't mean that the fighting is not going on in the foreground, which is between myself and Sam. As you can see now, I'm really pushing hard, just literally attacking the curbs now. Lap 4 into lap 5 of the Grand Prix now, and the gap to myself and Sam, 6/10ths of a second, and the gap gap between myself and Hamilton is, well, 5 seconds. It's now a two-way fight up front, and for the first time this season, the two best friends go to war as Sam now gets the DRS here on myself, instantly covering that inside line towards the hairpin now up the hill. Sam goes to the outside line, but it's not enough. We go to the inside line and defend that one nice and easily there against Sam, but with DRS now on my favour, it's going to allow me to be better on this back straight here. But now, this is where me and Sam are going to lock horns and go into combat, and I've really been looking forward to this one. I don't think me and Sam have actually had like a clear-cut fight all season long, and now this is where the fight can really gets going between myself and Sam. So anyway then, moving onwards then onto lap 6 of the Grand Prix now. The gap between myself and Sam, half a second, really is just nothing at this moment. 6.6 between myself and Hulkenberg, so really that gap is just increasing all the time as we now go up the hill now in towards the hairpin once again. Sam with that DRS is really using it to his advantage as he now switches to the inside line. Late move there from Sam. We go deep into the corner, flustered a little bit by what Sam was trying to do, and that's put me off slightly. DRS now open for Sam as he now goes towards the inside line, blocks off by myself, over to the outside line now goes Sam in towards turn 4. It probably is, I don't really know. He's on the outside line though. We go towards the inside line and basically just go very wide there and put the AI half there and up in staying into the leaders. Norris now is in front of Hulkenberg, Hamilton there in behind as Verline and Vettel now go and start fighting here. So Vettel really been scrapping with a lot of drivers today. He's had a go at Verstappen a few times. Now he's having a go at Pascal Verline into the inside now through here. This is normally where the outside driver really gets the better run, and that's what's happened here. But Vettel still trying to keep his nose in there, and he does just that there. So now he can try and use the straight line speed, which that Audi does have against Pascal Verline to breeze through and into the second to last corner. That's put Pascal under pressure from Russell now as Russell swoops to the outside line here into team fighting going on between the two Red Bull cars now as Russell there barges a little bit with Verstappen, but with Pascal Verline, I should say. Verstappen's actually behind all of those, and as you can see there, that is him comfortably in front as myself and Sam sort of maintain orders. There's another scrap going on into the first corner. That's Verstappen now having a look at Pascal Verline here for what is going to be P, whatever it is on the grid. Don't even have a clue right now as Hulkenberg there is also attacking Norris in the foreground as well. And as you can see, Pascal Verline up towards the hairpin has a look. I think he's got both Red Bulls there. He does. He's got both of them, but Russell tries to fight it off into the hairpin, and he will do just that. But Pascal Verline now with his second bite of DRS here. Actually, no, no one's got it. No one has DRS at all. But that Porsche is so much faster in a straight line. Look at that. And obviously, Pascal Verline will use the DRS that he's got to defend against them there. As now we look up the head, and Lando Norris maintains the advantage between those lots. So there's literally scrapping going on absolutely everywhere right now. And meanwhile at the front, as much as they were all having so many great scraps, I didn't care about any of those because Sam there right and behind me is still sticking on absolutely glued to my rear wing. Cannot get away from him in this stage of the race. And now I just have to accept that and keep fighting onwards as we go in towards the hairpin now. And you can see back end sliding tyres starting to go off a little bit as well. We've been on these tyres for 8 laps, of course. We want to try and get into about lap 13, 14 to try and make the one-stop strategy work. And that's kind of like all of the full aims here as we now go in towards turn 4 this time around. But as you can see here, we go a little bit wide on the exit of the hairpin, catch a bit of dirt there. Sam now has got a great run through and towards the middle sector here, braking a little bit late for myself on the inside line. Sam will swoop to the outside line, gets a better run through it now, and Sam has the acceleration, but we sort of tuck ourselves in there, back and slides a little bit there through there. And now as we go in towards the final sector, side by side between myself and Sam, this is so close now as we go in towards the second to last corner, which we do, and Sam gets in front. We try to switch back. Sam blocks it carefully now in towards the final corner there. Sam locks up just a little bit now. Side by side once again through towards the last corner. DRS down the straight now goes into my favour as we go up towards turn 1. This is critical for the Grand Prix. Down the inside and towards turn 1, making it stick, but we go a little bit wide. Catch the sausage curve there this time around. So I make a mistake. Sam makes a mistake. Now I make another mistake. DRS this time for Sam. It doesn't end. Side by side through pretty much this entire circuit now into the hairpin, now onto the inside line. Sam locks up again and we defend on the inside line, but some great scrapping there as we now take DRS from Sam and try and breeze away into the distance. But you can see there, it is so close, it is so tight, but the battle is well and truly on. Lap 10 of the Grand Prix now, and it's not going so well for myself and Sam because the more that we're scrapping, which we are now, Norris is now reclosing the gap in third place. It's down to 5.5 seconds now as we sort of just cover the inside line ever so gently there on Sam, but we just get not the best exit possible, and Sam has managed to keep close on the exit of the hairpin there, and that that could just put him in a good occasion now to try and go for the attack on us down in towards turn 4, which is going to do around the outside this time, but we have the easy position to defend that corner, and that is us straight away back into the lead of the race. And you can see that I took a lot of the AstroTurf on the exit there to really just fluster the AI, and it actually worked quite well. Meanwhile, back on board with Norris now in P3, he's having a good fight with Hulkenberg here in the Ferrari. This is probably the one time we've really seen Ferrari competitive since Bahrain, and as you can see now, going up the hill and towards the hairpin, Hulkenberg will have the DRS, he will have the straight line speed, and he will have the position. Third place is his. Hulkenberg takes it, and now, oh hello, we've got the Audis going for another bit of a scrap. We've seen what these two could do together, Vettel and Hamilton, when they go into fights. They definitely like to bang wheels a lot and nearly spin each other out, but Hamilton this time around maintains P5. Vettel drops into 6th place, while the Porsche cars now are having a little bit of a scrap. There's literally every single team in the entire grid are fighting here now, as Charles Leclerc goes for an attack on Verstappen here. Now, what really should happen is that Verstappen would maintain the position, but on that occasion, that's what he's done. Lap 11 of the Grand Prix now. Sam has actually gone and rolled the dice on me, so as much as Sam has been scrapping, as you can see, we go very wide there, Sam has rolled the dice, which is very, very clever. So, this was meant to be a one-stop race, but Sam has come into the pits 3 laps early for a new set of tyres. If he's going to come in 3 laps early, that's bang on a 2-stop strategy. So, Sam has decided to go to plan B, and I am now going to respond to that. I am not going to do the one-stop anymore. I am going to respond to whatever Sam does in this race, and it's going to put me on the back foot because he'll have the better advantage there. Is that Sam there through there? No, that's not Sam. That is Sam there, just passing one of the Jaguar cars. So as we go on the exit in the pit lane for Sam, though, it's worked an absolute treat because he's got the undercut done on us there, and as we now go on the exit of the straight here, we've got a tough fight now between myself and the Jaguar car because that Jaguar has DRS, but he's actually got the soft tyres on, our super soft tyres. We can go down the inside here of the Jaguar car, make that move stick, and now there is Sam there right with us, and now we can try and fight him as one of the other Jaguar cars there. I think that is Pierre Gasly, goes for an attack on one of the Lamborghini cars. I wish I actually got the camera angle to attack on the Lamborghini, and there it is there, just in the front there. I don't even know if I want to change my camera. Do you want to change, Tom? You utter pillock, and I think I have done just that now. Good stuff there. No, I haven't. I'm an idiot. Sorry, guys. I should really be focusing on the scrap going on in front here between Carlos Sainz and Pierre Gasly, but I'm just too addicted. I probably was on my phone, to be honest, at this point, not gonna lie. But as you can see, they're flying through now, and this is going to be a great scrap. They're still going side by side, by the way, this Lamborghini and this Jaguar car. They're not giving an inch towards each other now as they go in towards the second to last corner. Now the final corner here. We're going side by side with Sam here, trying to put him off course a little bit now, as we now try and get the attack on Sam, get the position back, but with this slipstream with the DRS, you can see, look how far away that McLaren can just breeze off into the distance. There is nothing I can do but a dive it down the inside now on Sam. I think I damaged my front wing very slightly doing that overtake, but oh well, I got the position back. That's what we needed. Now it's time to go and try and pass these cars as quick as possible and retain a little bit of an advantage here as we now go down the inside here on Pierre Gasly, and we do that just very nicely there, and that is us now building a 1-car gap slot between myself and Sam as we now blast with the DRS down the hill now onto the Lamborghini car of Carlos Sainz, and we sort of jiggle and jutter a little bit. In fact, it wasn't actually necessary because Sainz locked up then in the end, and that allowed us to just comfortably breeze on through. And as you can see now, Sam has got to pass both the cars, in which in fact he's done very, very simply. Second to last corner, he gets past the Jaguar car there of Pierre Gasly, and now on the straight here, he should have absolutely no problem passing the Lamborghini car of Carlos Sainz, which he does. In fact, Sainz just sort of moves over in the way there as one of the Porsche cars going a little bit slowly actually was like that Charles Leclerc with a puncture on the right rear tyre there, and that's really held up Sam just that little bit there, not what he would have wanted there, and that's given me a little bit of advantage. But as you can see in the top right of your screens, or top left, sorry, Sam is on a fresh set of ultra soft tyres. You won't be able to see it because everyone's coming to the pits here. Meanwhile, we're going to go for the attack on Daniel Ricciardo. Sam has gone into a set of ultra soft tyres, whereas I've gone into the set of the super soft tyres. So strategy swaps between both of us in this second phase of the race, and they will swap again in the final stages now. It's on to lap 15, that's when we pass Daniel Ricciardo. Now I need to get onto the back of Reese and try and get in front of him, because of course I don't really want to be stuck behind my teammate for too long. Reese on a set of super soft tyres, going long in the first stint of this race, going to stop for a set of soft tyres, although he could have got away with the ultra softs there. Meanwhile, one lap later on to lap 16 of the Grand Prix, Sam manages to get past Daniel Ricciardo. It really didn't take him that long. I didn't expect it to take that long either, as once again, the Jaguar and the Lamborghini car have decided to lock horns and go into combat now. As we can see here, this is actually quite embarrassing here for the Jaguar car. That Lamborghini of Carlos Sainz has got no DRS, but he's still managing to out-drag that Jaguar car. I thought the Jaguar was a little bit faster than the Lamborghini, but clearly not on this occasion, because Carlos Sainz is doing a great job of trying to defend here. Of course, we had an exclusive interview with Carlos Sainz just before this race began, obviously stating that at some point in the future, he will be a world champion, and if he's going to be a world champion, in. He's going to have to get his elbows out and really start fighting. And he's doing just that here with 2 Jaguar cars now. It's a 2-on-1 scenario, and he's doing a great job. I think he's actually covered it off. He has done. And that's going to allow Giovinazzi now to try and get involved in the fight here and get all up on the back of the other Jaguar cars. So great stuff there from Sainz. And that's actually put off one of the Jaguar cars there in the background. Meanwhile, we're going to go back to the fight now between the 2 cars once again, because here comes the Jaguar car and also the Lamborghini of Carlos Sainz and also Pierre Gasly. However, Hulkenberg has actually stopped now. Hulkenberg is doing the one-stop strategy in this race. So Hulkenberg in P3, only 6-7 seconds behind myself and Sam, is now rolling the dice again, because now he's on a one-stop strategy. If he can get past these 2 cars nice and easily, not lose too much time, keep the pace up between myself and Sam, Hulkenberg is going to put himself into play for this Grand Prix as well. So it's really fascinating how this Grand Prix is turning out as we now go onto the end of the lap here. Hulkenberg with a great run now on the straight here, but Pierre Gasly with that DRS is really going to put himself in a great position heading in towards the first corner, but with the lockup there, that's not going to help him at all. And now with the DRS once again, Hulkenberg should get this one, because he's going to be in the slipstream of Carlos Sainz, and he is going to be in the slipstream this time around. Now, as you can see, the Jaguar tries to fight back slightly in towards the hairpin. Hulkenberg decides cautiously taking the defensive route, but it's going to be all good, but too much for the Jaguar car to really start to fend off there, because as you can see, it is quite an easy overtake for Nico Hulkenberg in the end of things. Being done obviously now with Hulkenberg now past the Jaguar of Pierre Gasly, he can now get his sights set on taking over Carlos Sainz, and he's going to do just that. It's quite a simple overtake actually of Hulkenberg. This time he goes to the outside of turn 1 and he can breeze on through, whereas Carlos Sainz is in a little bit of under pressure, but obviously the Jaguar car still there in the background, so he's not going to really bite this one off without an attack here. But look at the pace that Sainz has got in that Lamborghini. He's really set this car up for full-on low drag, unless they have increased their power speed. Obviously, I'm not really sure that Lamborghini have actually made a power unit upgrade, but it certainly looks like they have, because Carlos Sainz is not really wanting to give this one up a proper fight, and Hulkenberg, even on fresh tyres in a Ferrari as well, which is faster, has to really defend against that position, has to really work for it there, and credit to Sainz for making Hulkenberg have to work for it. He really had to really get all of his elbows out there to make that one stick. And meanwhile, speaking of another man that's trying to put pay towards Hulkenberg, it's actually Sebastian Vettel. Now Vettel here has to try and pass the Lamborghini and also Carlos Sainz, but in doing that, once again, Vettel is also on that one-stop strategy and rolling the dice, crucially, against myself and Sam. So if he can get out of this traffic, it's already going to put a little bit of pain on myself and Sam come later on in the Grand Prix when we have to stop again for a new set of tyres. The only advantage that me and Sam have got is that our tyres are obviously fresh and are obviously softer, whereas these guys are a lot harder, but they're durable, as Vettel now goes down the inside into the second to last corner against Carlos Sainz. And I think the Jaguar car there of Pierre Gasly, as you can see there, goes into the pits now for his stop in the Grand Prix. Meanwhile, then back on board with us as Leclerc there gets very close to being in the way there. We're now onto the back of Reese here, and of course Reese is very slow. You can see how much faster we're able to go in those last 2 corners, and as you can see now onto lap 16 of the Grand Prix, we're going to go to the outside line of turn 1, make the move stick on Reese, and that is going to be us up into the race lead, and now we can try and extend our advantage between myself and Sam. It's going to be difficult because Sam is on the ultra soft tyres, but at the end of the day, it's not going to be impossible as we get a screen freeze there. Puts us off ever so slightly, but as you can see now, we can carry on our way, and that gap is 6/10 between myself and Reese. And on to lap 25 of the Grand Prix now. We're going to be coming in for our second stop of the Grand Prix, but bear in mind, of course, that Sam stopped earlier because Sam was on a set of ultra soft tyres. We were on a set of super soft tyres, so we've had to go a little bit longer in this second stint, and Sam has now been able to push hard on fresh tyres, where, of course, we haven't been able to do that. So it might just be that the strategy, once again, is going to go out of our favour and go into Sam's favour. But of course, it was always going to be like that, considering, obviously, we are basically following Sam. We're basically doing what he's doing. And as we cross the line now, there goes Hulkenberg, there goes Sam, and there goes Vettel now. And that is going to be Sam back up in front again with yet another undercut opportunity, as Vettel has also overtaken, has been overtaken by Sam. But speaking of Vettel, actually, he's having absolutely none of it. He comes back at Sam now in towards the hairpin, and fair play to Sebastian Vettel. That is for raw pole position now in this Grand Prix. He gets past Sam once again and completely mugs him off, but Sam now has got the DRS here on the second run down towards turn 4. Vettel now was going to have to defend towards the inside, now goes to the outside, Sam goes towards the inside, down the inside he goes, and that is another overtake there for P2. It's not going to be enough for Vettel on a fresh set of tyres. Looks like me and Sam are going to easily walk past Vettel and Hulkenberg, but now I need to walk past Vettel quickly. I cannot let Sam get off into the distance because this is in a sector of the track where you can't really make those overtakes, but look how close we are to the back of Vettel. So close to that rear wing. We've got to make the move somewhere. Let's do it in the second to last corner. Down the inside we go on Vettel. Really aggressive on the overtake there, but we've got to do it now and catch up to Sam as we do just that now. DRS is enabled. We go in towards it now. Sam doesn't have DRS on Nico Hulkenberg. It's only me that's got it, and as you can see, Vettel already a second back. He's not going to be a threat now anymore. It is now me versus Sam versus Hulkenberg, unless obviously Hulkenberg has any issues. But as you can see now, it is time to get serious. It's rich mixture time. It's overtake ERS time. We go to the outside. Sam does a very good job there of blocking it as we try and mug him off around the outside there. Sam covers that off. That is some really clever defending there. I had to be on my toes for that one, and that is some great elbows out there action there from Sam. But now he's got DRS and overtake mode on Hulkenberg, but we're going to go down the inside of Sam in towards turn 4. Lovely slick overtake that one was. He wasn't ready for that one. He was covering the inside of turn 3, and he did a great job covering the exit as well, but on that occasion in towards turn 4 he couldn't cover that one, and now we can set our sights on Hulkenberg, but we've gone a little bit wide there in towards turn 5 and 6. That's not really set us up perfectly for the run up towards the final 2 corners, but it's set up a good run for Sam now, because here comes Sam once again, goes the inside line now in towards this corner. Sam goes in front, no, not just quite. We hold on to the outside line there and in towards the final corner. Still have to let off the throttle a little bit there because Sam was still trying to fight his way through as we now go onto the straight as me and Sam continue to battle away. Hulkenberg says, thank you very much, I will stay in the lead for a little bit longer. Unfortunately, Nico, that's not going to last very much longer because now we've got the DRS here on the straight now. This is going to be quite a simple overtake here to attack Hulkenberg. Down the straight we go now, blasting our way through, covering off heavily there as Sam now goes towards the outside line of turn 2, and he's going to do it just nicely there, and that is Hulkenberg, unfortunately demoted down 2 places. His fight now is going to be with Sebastian Vettel and also with the Porsche car there in the background of, I think it's Verstappen. It should be actually, yeah, because Leclerc had a puncture early on. So yeah, Hulkenberg now has his fight with 3rd, 4th and 5th. Meanwhile, lap 28 of the Grand Prix, that's a little bit wise for comfort, but we're really pushing so hard right now. Why? Because Sam is still on my back. It's been 29 laps. It's the fastest lap of the race so far, but Sam is still only 6/10 back in this stage of the Grand Prix. It's still super close now as we ride onto that sausage curb once again now, up the hill towards turn 4. By the way, I have no idea why there is tyres and just random floating tyres on the circuit. I actually can't explain that. I don't actually have a clue. But we now go towards the inside line, defending towards turn 2. I really shoved Sam out wide there on the exit of that hairpin corner, but obviously Sam covered me off on the exit of the hairpin corner, so we're really fighting each other now, and this is going to get awkward. We've now got an Audi car of Hamilton, who is a lap down in this Grand Prix, in the way here of both me and Sam. So now I'm going to actually have a little bit of a blessing in some respects, because now I've got DRS on Hamilton here, and that's going to allow me just a little bit of time now to creep away from Lewis Hamilton as we go down the inside of Lewis in towards the first corner. Hopefully he can try and fluster Sam a little bit there. That's not happened though. That's actually kind of wasted my time a little bit now, because at least I've got DRS here to defend, but Sam has got DRS to attack, and now he's got a little bit extra speed now in towards the hairpin. Really close, but not close enough to make a move in towards the hairpin on this occasion, and we once again survive the onslaught of Sam, really just trying to pressurize me in these latter stages of the races. We've got 5 laps to go, and anything can happen. 4 laps to go. Gap is 4 tenths per second. Vettel now up into P3 as we blast our way through towards turn 1. That's actually a great run towards the first corner, but look, you just be able to see it now. Sam now with the DRS here, with that slipstream, rich and overtake enabled. We go towards the outside line. Late defensive move to do that. Very, very close to Sam. Give him as little room as possible on the exit there. Drop it into first to really neutralize the attack that Sam can get on the exit. And now that is us comfortably defending. All the while as we go on to lap 33, the Grand Prix back end slides out very much then. You can see how much we're pushing, how much the tyres are screaming at this stage of the race. They really were not actually in the best condition, these ultra soft tyres. I thought they would be a little bit better, but clearly they're not in this stage of the Grand Prix as we now go through. It's only 2 tenths per second as we go in towards this middle sector split. Vettel now is out of the equation, 6 seconds back. We're already blasting away here as Sam now tries to have a look in towards the second to last corner. I've had to cover it off though, and that's going to compromise my run into the last corner now, but onto the straight. straight, and this is where Sam is most powerful. It's not a good exit either on the straight, but we're going to defend heavily towards the inside of turn 1 for a specific reason. Sam's now going to watch that, try and have a look at towards turn 1, backs out of it, and that now basically stops him from constantly getting that run in towards turn 1, or turn 2, sorry. Or even turn to, I don't know, Austria change their corner names every time. But now as we go on to lap 35 of the Grand Prix, or starting lap 35, that's a very wide exit there. Completely missed the apex that time around. So I decided that tactic actually wasn't a bad idea. Sam now heads towards the first corner. I'll give him the inside line. This time he's a little bit more alongside me here. And as we go on the outskirts of turn 1, this time he's going to have to run not only towards that corner turn 1, but now towards turn 3 hairpin. He's going to have another attack here. Towards the outside line goes Sam now. And this time around, still not going to work because we're going to keep defending the lines that we know best. That's a bit deeper towards the corner. Sam tries to switch back line, but we just about cover it off. And this time, Sam with DRS once again. It's going to be for every single corner. We just can't pull away enough. And now Sam is going to have a nice run here on towards turn 4. We're going to have to cover it off once again from Sam. Every single corner, we have got to be on our toes because Sam is really ready to fight on all occasions. But I think now we've got just a little bit of a gap here to really go for it. And also, Vettel and Hulkenberg and also Verstappen are scrapping in the background for P3. So one of those 3 drivers is going to get a podium in this race. But we still don't know who's going to win this race yet because Sam, although he's just a little bit behind now in this race in terms of that battle, it's really put him off. But he's got so much better straight line speed. Don't put it past him. And especially if I'm going to be being rash on the curbs, it's not going to help my cause as well, as the gap is 9/10 of a second. DRS is going to be in hand for Sam now as we go into the final lap of the Austrian Grand Prix. On towards the straight now. I don't think Sam is close enough. Is he actually in DRS range? I don't think he is. I think on this occasion, oh, that's a screen freeze and a half. As we now try and go up towards the hairpin now, in towards, there we go, Sam. This time is nowhere near, and I think on this occasion, we are going to cover it. The gap, once again, still at 9/10 of a second. I am now using Hot Lap and Rich Mixture. I'm using every ounce that I have got. I've got plenty of Rich Mixture. I've been saving that as much as possible for this potential last lap scrap. But it's not really happening as we go a little bit wide on the exit there. But we're still giving 110% from lights out to lights out. Or lights out to lights out. That makes perfect sense, Tom. You really are high at the moment. But anyways, we continue now onto the middle sector here. The gap is now 1 second between myself and Sam. The hot lap mode is enabled. The rich mix is enabled. We've saved as much as we can to limit the threat. But like I said, from lights out to checkered flag, as it should well have been, we have had probably the best race so far of the F1 journey. And no doubt, my favourite ever F1 journey race. We are going to win the Austrian Grand Prix. And boy, do we have to work for that one. From the start to the end, we could not rest at all. The middle stint was the stint where we had the respite because the gap to myself and Sam was 2 seconds. But as you can see, it's myself ahead of Sam. Vettel beats Verstappen and Hulkenberg. Rosberg finishes in 6th ahead of Verline, Reese, Ricciardo and Sainz, rounding out the top 10. But guys, genuinely, my favourite ever F1 journey race I've ever done. And I'm really happy that we managed to come out on top in that fight. But without further ado, let's have a look at the drivers and constructors standings and then check out the post-race notebook as well. What a race. Taking a look then at the World Drivers' Championship after the Austrian Grand Prix, and it's another crucial set of points for myself to extend the championship lead over Sam. The championship lead is continuing to rise, however, with obviously my strong tracks pretty much now all but done for the rest of the year. This is now the perfect standing point to go ahead and defend my ground. Sam on 129 points and myself on 164. Pascal Wehrlein continues his struggle in this second half of the season, still not breaking the 100-point barrier yet, despite the fact he was so much better in the start of the year. Vettel, Reese and Hamilton continue to scrap, although Vettel and Reese have now pulled away from Lewis Hamilton and it's becoming a 3-way scrap now for P3. Hamilton is tied on points with Charles Leclerc. George Russell is now getting involved in the act. He's on 54 points and really is doing a great job in this second half of the season compared to Pascal Wehrlein. Lando Norris still with a disappointing year on 47 points, and Pierre Gasly stays in that P10 in the championship on 36 points. And then in the Constructors' Championship, Mercedes increased their advantage ever so slightly to McLaren, of course, with Tom and Rees scoring a good amount of points, and obviously only Sam scoring the points today for McLaren. Red Bull are on 142 points and are still yo-yoing between themselves and Audi about who is in front of each other, but it's quite clear now that the scrap between Red Bull and Audi has started to basically put them away, and McLaren are basically now heading away from Red Bull and Audi in terms of that 3-way fight. Now it's turned into a 2-way fight. Porsche are on 76 points and are still doing a stunning job for their team and are starting to very slightly close on Audi, and who knows, with any crazy races to come, they might just get the jump on them. Ferrari, with their double point score and finish today, are now back on tied levels with Jaguar, and that's put them in a great position to try and fight them and try and get in front of them in the championship, which they'll hope to do. Obviously, Renault with another set of points today from them, really are now on a good streak of points in front of Lamborghini on 26 points with Lamborghini on 21, and BMW still failing to score points in this season. Really tough season for them. But without further ado, now let's get straight into the post-race notebook and see what the teams had to say after the race. So what did the teams have to say then after the Austrian Grand Prix? Well, first of all, Tom was absolutely delighted to win the Austrian Grand Prix after such an intense race-long battle with himself and also Sam. Obviously, Tom was still critical over Mercedes, over their strategy calls. McLaren on 2 occasions managed to get the jump on Tom, but it was with Tom's sheer determination and his better overtaking that he managed to get the job done. Sam was gutted to finish in second place, and he said he just needed more if he was to win that Grand Prix. Of course, Sam believes that, despite the fact he had the undercuts on Tom on both occasions, he was a little bit lackluster behind the traffic, and it allowed Tom to go through and just sneak through and take that race victory. And Ferrari are finally happy after a Grand Prix with a good points haul here in Austria, and they said that they're going to use this as a step forwards, as a form of motivation to push onwards now in the rest of the season. But guys, that is going to be it for this episode of the F1 Journey. If you guys have enjoyed it, feel free to drop it a like, subscribe if you're new around here to the channel as well, and I will see you guys for the next episode, which is the Russian Grand Prix. But until then, take care all. Peace.